Welcome to this Sunday Feast program. Sunday Feast programs are always very welcoming because it's a forum where one is exposed to some ideas on how to mold their lives or shape their lives in a way that will create a positive difference. Either you're hearing directly about Krishna's instructions in the Bhagavad Gita, or someone is giving some special topic about how to become useful devotees in the hands of the Lord, gain creative, a spiritual revolution in a world where everything is misdirected. The Prabhupada will say, the essence of our teachings is to redirect a misdirected civilization. Today we're going to talk about relationships in Krishna consciousness. Because the whole of our lives revolves around relationships. Except someone would say he came out from, and even you come out from a pillar without parents, like Shindadev did, even you came out from a pillar, someone must have invoked you like Prahlad. So you do have a relationship with that person. So we have different type of relationships with the Lord, who can help us with one of them. Yes. Relationships with the Lord. We have 5 major relationships with the Lord. Can someone try to give us some idea about what one or
Santa Dasha,
Santa
Dasya.
So someone who doesn't understand Sanskrit, how does that translate? See, I just walk into your heart. I don't understand Sanskrit. Neutrality. So that is, for example, what type of personalities have that type of relationship with the Lord?
They think good, but not necessarily. Like, for example, building a temple. Any wood that was used for the temple. It is used for the temple, but it is not reciprocating anything.
Sure.
So, no reciprocity. But it's just neutral.
We have entities like the trees.
Yes.
They have a relationship with the Lord. They have a neutral relationship. They're not actively coming forward to say, let me do this for you, Krishna, or let me do this for the devotees. Yes, another relationship. The 5 major ones, yes.
Sasya, servitorship.
Servitorship. Everyone, no one can deny that he or she is a servant. I remember in graduate school I wrote an essay on servant leadership, and to my great surprise, even the secretary to the president of the college, she told me, "Oh, I like that paper very much." She's not an academic, but because it was just something practical that everyone is a servant. You can even be, a POTUS, President of the United States, but you're serving your family, you're serving your children, you're serving your wife, you're serving the community, you're serving the nation. So everyone is basically a servant. Although most of the times we claim otherwise, or we act otherwise, but we are all servants. And also in the Vedic literature, is a very prominent construct of dasa, anudasa. We're servants. We're not just servants, but servants of the servant of the servant. If all of you could act like that, the world would be a very great, peaceful place to live. So yes, servitorship. Yes. What next?
Friendship.
Friendship. You can be a friend with the Lord. So we are talking about this relationship first with the Lord because all of our relationships in this material world are derived from our original relationships with the Lord. We talk about being neutral. We have trees around us. We use the trees. They don't reciprocate with us. We plant trees around our, big premises for shade or, for greenery. But they don't necessarily reciprocate with us. When we come back from work, they don't come and say, "Oh, welcome back, master." They don't. They don't do that. But they do have a relationship with us. So we have neutrality, servitorship, friendship, a parent. All of us, we are human beings. The human species the fundamental factor of human life is that we have parents. And there's that culture of respect for your parents. It doesn't matter how big you have become, you have that respect for your parents. You love and respect for your parents, most of it. Otherwise, it doesn't make you any different from the pigs. Doesn't it? The pigs don't have respect for their parents. They can't even have fun with their parents. But yeah. So, that's a distinctive feature of human existence. That we care for our parents, we love our parents. And so we are committed to our parents. Sometimes you find people who are even married, even with grandchildren, they still, like to follow their parents' instructions. Unfortunately, in the Kali Yoga, some of us are not. I remember when I was a brahmachari several years, some decades ago, I was in Toronto and then my mom called me on the phone. And then, she was speaking with me and then she said, "Boy, when are you coming home?" I said, "Hey, I'm not your husband. Why you ask me where I'm coming home?" So these are the effects of Kali Yoga, So we tend to be too detached from, the family relations. So we have parents, and we also have conjugal love, which is which is the highest and the platform of love relations with Krishna. The gopis are, featuring prominent amongst them, Radharani. But that is the epitome of dedicated, unflinching, unmotivated love and service to the Lord. However, in the material world, that is forbidden. Boyfriend and girlfriend. If we just put up a notice board and you come to a temple, everything is free. Boyfriend and girlfriend. Free. You will not have a place to park a car. I think that sometimes, people don't seem to know that our standard, it creates a lot of difference, positive difference, because it only allows people who are sincere to a great degree to come to try to participate in the culture. So these 5 major relationships are there, and because they are there originally between the Jiva and the Supreme Lord, so those relationships are also reflected in the material world. And the point is, how do we sustain this type of relationship? Say, a parent and a child relationship, a husband and a wife relationship, or a friendship, your friends. How do we sustain that without becoming too critical? So, Recently, one professor, he mentioned that you should be very critical about yourself, which is similar to what Bhaktisiddhanta says. Bhaktisiddhanta says we should be very critical about ourselves, but for others, we should try to be neutral. We should be sympathetic with people. We should, see how to help them. But for ourselves, we should be very, very tough with ourselves. Why? Because we are supposed to be role models. So even in the family, you find that the parents are supposed to be role models to the children. Of course, sometimes the reverse is the case. Sometimes the children become the role models for the parents. But in either case, is a system of creating a model or a standard that other members of the family become enthused to follow that standard, to come to that level, if they are not on that level. But relationship is also full of frictions. So I'll give you an example. I was in Laguna Beach some time ago, and there was a Ramnami program, so they happened to give the class. And then I finished giving the talk, and a gentleman came to me. I was still sitting on the asset. I was not even good enough. A gentleman came to me and started, elaborating how he treated his 8-year-old daughter. He said he came back from work one day, and people are really sincere. He came back from home one day, and for no just reason, he started raining abuses on his 8-year-old daughter. Nothing he didn't tell her. So, basically, that was a serious emotional abuse of the girl. But the girl was very tolerant. She was very tolerant, very, very un-American. Because I'm tolerant to that degree is very un-American. Because just one call on 9/11 could just put it into jail. Then she was very, very tolerant. So he said, so after all of that, she didn't say anything. She didn't utter one word. 8 years old. And then this is a good lesson for us, so listen with rapt attention. But then, after some time, after some days, he had even forgotten because she didn't react. So it's so easy for the father to react, to forget. But you know what? When you do something, it's very easy to forget. The person that has the effect of what you've done may not forget so easily. So one day, this 8-year-old girl, when they were happy, they were eating, father is happy, the girl is happy. So the girl said, "Hey, Dad, you remember the day you came back from work?" You did this to me, you did this to me, you did this to me. There's nothing you didn't say to me. For nothing I did. I did nothing to you. So Dad, tell me something. Did you have any fight with someone in the office that day? 8 years old. He was ashamed. He said, yes. I got in trouble in the office that day. So immediately he told me that, I said, hey, stop. Call this girl to come here. So he called the girl. So the girl came. I had to beg this girl on his behalf, on behalf of Papa. I said he should beg this girl because this is not an ordinary. It's not an ordinary 8-year-old girl. They don't act like this. This one acts like, because that whole scenario is what we call in the management sciences, resolving deep-rooted conflicts. That is how to resolve deep-rooted conflicts. So how 8-year-old girl had that type of skill? So I said, look, this girl, she's not an ordinary girl. better beg her because you committed a great offense. So he begged her, and then I made him also to pay obeisances to her. She paid obeisances back and said, the girl should hug him, or he should hug her, and then settle the matter. So that was done. And then the bottom line is that people are not tolerant, They think that relationships are just going to be so rosy all the way. But no. Even with your beloved, you can have some psychological friction or whatever. And therefore, we have to be able to learn to resolve conflicts without, having to boil over. Even with a child and a father, they have conflicts. They have some problems. But then these things have to be resolved. And one of the things that we need to really understand is that we are human beings, and there's a common witticism that to err is human. We humans, we make mistakes. That is also one of the defaults defined in the Vedic literature as far as human conditions souls are concerned. We are bound to err. We are bound to make mistakes. We are bound to offend someone. And therefore, when that happens in our relationships, there's nothing wrong in accepting our faults and being humble enough to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry will not remove one follicle of hair from your body. I'm sorry. But the ego, in most cases, doesn't allow us. And that ego has caused a lot of trouble. People have gone to the Supreme Court just because of, the inability to have the courage to say, I'm sorry, when we wrong someone, when we wrong our loved ones. Even people who are very close, they could have so much of conflict in the future by dint of circumstances. They could have understandings, a misunderstanding that could lead to any type of scenario, And therefore, if we understand in principle that we can make mistakes and that we are supposed to be subservient to the Lord and we are supposed to be servants of everyone else, then the understanding also is that we should not allow our ego to override us in our relationships. Because a relationship where you have someone who has to go to your instructions, to your orders, or to your will all the time, that's not a relationship. It's bondage. And so even as a child, I know even as a child, as a teenager, my mother begged me when she wronged me. When she wronged me, I just walked out of the house in the city. I walked out of the house and I went to her cousin's place, and I stayed at her cousin's place without her knowledge. So after some days, she came there to trace me and beg me. So even you could hurt your child. The tendency is we think, I am always right. I am the parent, I am always right. Or I am the breadwinner, I am always right. My way or the highway. But it shouldn't be like that, okay? It shouldn't be like that. You asked me to talk on a very sensitive. You have to speak on a sensitive topic, so you may not like it. But the truth will be very bitter, very chaos. Bitter medicines, bitter tablets. For instance, quinine, they're very useful for malaria. I was born in Africa, so those bitter tablets, the kids, they can't take it. But when they have malaria, the parents have to find a way either a hook or crook, to deliver the medicine to the child so that they could be cured. So, truth is bitter. That's my point. So the point is that if we recognize the principle that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna, Mama, Evam, Su, Jiva, Loki, Jiva, Puti, Sanatana. Krishna said, everyone is my part and parcels. Then, we have to treat people like we will treat Krishna as parts and parcels. See, when we have a senior devotee, a pure devotee come around and sing us come around, it's so easy to serve them, right? We fight to serve them. Huh? Come stay with me. You know, I was staying at the Gideon place, and he said, I also wanted my place. Oh, yeah, he looked like that. I remember I was in Newman one year, and then I went to Pittsburgh. One devotee came to invite me to come with him. And then the plan was just to stay for 2 days, and I ended up staying for 5 days. And each day I slept in a different home. Because after a program, then people start fighting. Who wants to take me home? So we do that to the devotees. That love and care is there. So we should charge the begins at home. We should extend that love and care to members of our family. We can be good outside and inside. Your spouse cannot vouch for you that he's a good guy. Or she's a very good marriage. Very, very loving, caring. So we're going to be good outside and inside. Someone can't vouch for us. Member of our close loved ones can't vouch for us. And it means that we are playing some games. And there's no need to play games in Krishna consciousness because of cheats. Krishna is the gambler. You know that, right? Krishna is the best of everything. And so, they say respect is reciprocal. And the way we treat the pure devotees of the Lord or the senior devotees when they come, that's exactly how we should treat our loved ones. Perhaps even beyond that. Because these are the people who are to give us the emotional, spiritual, moral support. And so if you have a family where you have your spouse is there to support you in everything you're doing, you'll be so happy and contented with your family life. But if you have a spouse who is very opposition to whatever steps you want to take in your Krishna consciousness or whatever steps you want to take in your social or professional development, then you're in a hellish situation. And therefore, it is important. The basic foundation or the basic fundamental principle is our personal identity. Who are we? If we understand that, what is our relationship with Krishna? What is our relationship with this, my spouse, this, my child, this, my parent? What's my spiritual relationship with this person? If the point is centered on Krishna, we will naturally honor, love, and respect people in our relationships. If the whole thing is, if we take that spiritual principle out of the relationship, it becomes a bondage. It's enslavement. It becomes a relationship that is going to be based on emotional, financial, social abuses. And then we go on to hurt even the supposedly loved ones. And therefore, it is not that someone is not going to hurt us. Even our parents could hurt us. But let's take an example from the 8-year-old girl. She loved her father so much so that she resolved to deal with the conflict in a very loving and amicable way. Because if someone hurts you in a relationship, the first challenge is on you to be proactive. Proactive mean, someone hurts you. I mean, like the girl. Someone hurts you, and your first thought is, how am I going to help this person? It's difficult, but then you have to practice it. Yeah, it is difficult. If someone tells you it's not difficult, then it's not true. It is difficult. But, even the most difficult things, Krishna mentions by practice. By practice, we can achieve that which is supposedly unattainable. And so, as devotees or aspiring devotees, we have to understand that when we hurt someone in our lives, in our devotional environment, or in a devotional community, or even in our family, they are devotees, right? So if we hurt someone, say you hurt your wife, you have committed what is called Vaishnavi Aparad. That could checkmate your devotional growth. If you hurt your husband, you committed what is called Vaishnav Aparad. That will checkmate your spiritual growth. So, relationship is a big challenge, okay? And therefore, there's every need for people to understand the ingredients, the elements that are connecting the dots. Otherwise, we could be in the best ever relationship, have a very nice, powerful, supportive father, but, it goes on hurting me. And so, he cripples his life. And therefore, it is important for people to really have that spiritual understanding in the bid to working together to create a sustainable future. And so when we align or when we subscribe to the idea that we are all part and parcels of Krishna, and we identify that point and try to ignite that in our lives, our relationships could be very rosy all the time. All the time. I'm sure none of you would like to hurt me. Is there anybody here who would like to hurt me? Raise up your hand. Especially when the guys is Swami. Okay. So then, you have to extend that mindset to force your family. Your family members, part and parcel of Krishna. Your child is part and parcel of Krishna. Your spouse is part and parcel of Krishna. So the way you treat, honor, love, care for the senior devotees who come around you, that is exactly the way you should treat and care for your family members. Because charity begins at home. He's laughing. Why are you laughing? This is just a practical philosophy, right? Applied Vaishnava philosophy. This is applied Vaishnava philosophy. And if you do this, you have amazing results. So yeah. I just have questions or some comments on this place. Yes.
Thank you so much for the wonderful discussion on relationships. When I was thinking about this, how should you consider Maharaj, how should you, if you're put in a situation where you are dealing with a non-devotee of the Lord and you want to have an amicable relationship with that person, does the same principles apply? or does it become one-sided at some point?
That's an important and insightful question. Yeah, so we're talking about amongst the devotees. What if somebody who is not a devotee? How should we treat them? I think we should extend the same type of attitude to even the non-devotees. Then the question is, I risk being abused. Yeah, so here is my answer to that. Now, I'll give you a practical example. I remember when I was active on social media, I was posting things on leadership and management because that's my specialty at the doctoral level. So then one devotee, he sent me a message asking a question about he's a CEO of a company, his own company. So he sent a message asking that, so as a devotee, if a worker in your company, does inappropriate things, what should you do? What should the devotee do? You should just be compassionate and overlook it. I said no. You should not just be compassionate and overlook it. Every organization has ground norms. And those ground norms, every worker should know about it. Before they are employed, they should be given a sheet to read through the ground norms of the organization. Now, if someone goes contrary to those standards, I said, you should call him over, treat him like a friend, like a brother, call him privately, speak to them. First offender. Even in the law courts, first offender, they don't treat them so cruelly. The rigor is not so intense with the first offender. So I said, so this person is a defaulter, first-time defaulter. Call them over, treat them like a friend in a loving way. Call them over, explain to them, these are the things, and this is not proper here, so please don't do this next time. Second time, you do the same thing. Second time, you do the same. Third time, get him fired. It's as simple as that. So yeah, in your organizations, in your companies, you have standard. And also you're trying to create some relationship with people at the office, which is very important, But the only thing is that when people understand that you're a devotee, they also like to take the excesses of you. I'll give you an example. I have one of my friends in Delhi, so he told me, there was this guy in his office, and he doesn't talk about spirituality. That the guy is just interested in poking him. Okay. So one day he reacted. And he said, then he brought Bhagavad Gita, so they quoted Bhagavad Gita to him. That he said, Bhagavad Gita, you are a devotee. This is what Bhagavad Gita, this is what Krishna said in the Gita. You're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to be angry, you're not supposed to do this. So we have to be careful, okay? All you're dealing with is non-devotees, the so-called non-devotees. But sometimes the illusion energy also uses them to just, test our, our status, our state of mind. So, when we are dealing with non-devotees, we have to deal with them based on standards, based on organizational standards. Yeah, we could extend ourselves by trying to be friendly for those who want to be friendly. But otherwise, the general standard is that follow the organizational standard. You don't because you are a devotee and then, you want someone to poke into your eyes. It doesn't work in that way. If someone does something that, warrants calling the cops, why not? If someone does something in the office that warrants just calling, cautioning them, why not? Standards should not be forsaken. Otherwise, the world will be in chaos. You look at even our own devotional communities. It's based on standards. Okay? It's based on standards. So when we are creating relationships also outside there, in the workforce or in the extended family, yeah, we should treat people nicely, but that does not imply that we become completely oblivious to standards. Yeah, we should work with standards. Even the families have standards. Yeah. Go ahead. Any other comments or questions? Yes? No? Oh.
Thank you, Maharaj, for such a wonderful class. I personally want to ask you, since you said Vaishnava brother, Vaishnava brother, I think most of the people who are married, they know pretty much every day we do those one way or the other. And when you say that you should treat or look at the spouse like a Maharaj, the other person will not look at you like that at times. It gets really tricky if negative qualities.
Okay.
So,
Where is mother?
that's all I can ask. How do we see this and then how do we develop that quality? I mean, to say if Maharaj or senior devotees we see, we don't look at those people like we look at normal, or they are not judgmental when we try to judge. But in case of marital relationship, it's most of the time it flip-flops. So how do we develop it over a period of time and have a healthy relationship?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a nice question. I was in Delhi. So one of my friends invited me to their home for a program. So after the program, there was one young couple, a lady, she's initiated. Her husband is just a new devotee. So then, and after the program, I was speaking to this couple, and at some point in time, I just was focusing on the husband. I was telling him how to be able to have a nice, responsible relationship with the wife, so that the child will imbibe that loving energy and then flourish. So I mentioned a lot of things about what people can do to hurt their spouses. And as I was speaking, the gentleman, he turned to his wife like this and gazed at his wife like this for some seconds. And then the wife confessed that, Maharaj, all the things you have said, I'm the one who does it to you. So, yes, your point, just to confirm your point. And then so I told her, yes, Mamaji, you're a very sincere person. But now you know that he's not just your spouse, but he's part and parcel of Krishna. You should know that. He's a devotee of Krishna, he's practicing, and you should treat him like you will treat pure devotee of the Lord. Because you can never say who is who in this moment. And so, afterwards, I met them again, and they were very, their kid had grown up like 11 years or so. And, they were very much happily getting along together in a very, very nice way. So it's a matter of practice. First, we have what is called awareness. We should be aware of what is required of us, what type of mindset we should develop. If we have primarily, if we have the awareness, then, like Lord Krishna mentions in the Gita, that by practice, we have an ego of thinking, well, it's me. I am the one. and you have to simply follow my instructions. Especially in our Vaishnava tradition, this is very common. Okay, the women in most cases, in most of the men, they expect the women to be subservient to them. And you know what? This is America. America means 50-50. America means participative domestic leadership. Participative domestic leadership. You can't take a unilateral decision in the family. And this is not just in a matter of America. See, if you have a child in the family who has, perhaps of a certain age, if you are relocating from Richmond to DC, you must discuss with that child too. Because the child has friends at school or friends in the neighborhood. And the child would like to relate this story to his or her friends that the family is relocating and he will miss them. And so if you just bundle the child and to the airport, and then on the airplane, at a very high altitude, you tell the child, you're not coming back. That's not good enough. So, shared leadership is expected in the family. Participating leadership. Decisions should not be unilaterally taken. Why? Because if something unpleasant transpires, so that you don't become responsible. You say, well, it's a decision all of us do. And what is it? You are even the one who stressed on this point. This is what we need to do. So, what's my point here? It doesn't mean that you're weak. It's just, it creates a situation where you are making other members of the family have a sense of belonging. You're making them have a sense of, yes, I have a say in this family. I'm not a slave. This is how it works. Okay? See, I'll give you an example. Okay, I'm an old man. I want to go to one country. I had some, at that time, two of my mentees, they were in HSC, and they were just 17 years old, one boy and one girl. So I wanted to go to that country. I've already got my assistant to make all of the bookings. And then I sent a message that I'm coming at such a time. And two kids objected. They were 17 years old. They wrote back to me to say, Mara, no, don't come at this time. I got two separate letters. 17, consider my age. They are in HSC, consider my own level of education. And they did, I'm an old man. They're just young people. So I would say, to hell with you. I'm Swami. Who are you? So, you know what? I adjusted my plans accordingly. I canceled my trip to that country because of those two kids. They said, that is our exam period. When you come at that time, we will be cheated. That was the language. They said, we'll be cheated because we will not be able to attend your lectures, your programs. So please don't come at that time. You wait after our exams, then you come, so that we can be with you. So, it was a little bit, it was not to my advantage, because I had laid out some plan, but I had to cancel it because to just demonstrate that, look, I care for you and your concerns are important to me. So I adjusted. There was no reason for me to adjust, but there was a great need to be able to consolidate the relationship. You don't bring people like your slaves, your other careers. This is what I want. My way or the highway. I'm just running whatever I want to do. So finish. No, I don't operate like that. And so what I'm saying is based on lived experience, the benefits of having that type of shared decision making, and how we should see each other as parts and parts of Krishna, worthy of care, worthy of love, worthy of honor and respect. If that is missing, that spiritual concept is missing, the Krishna factor is missing, everything else becomes bizarre. Someone will always be a victim. And that's not what is recommended. That's why I mentioned I brought in the concept of Vaishnava Aparad and Vaishnava Aparad. So that should be minimized by recognizing that in the family, we are not just there to become control freaks. Your children will enjoy it. Your spouse will enjoy it because they have, they'll be proud of the family. Hey, I haven't saved my family. So, any other comments or questions? Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for such a nice and relevant class. I wanted to know that in our daily lives, if we experience these types of relationships which need some assistance, if you will, and we find ourselves or others within our family to be quite critical, of course it would be difficult for us to deal with if we're not in such a high spiritual platform. Do you have any tips of how we can increase our tolerance in these situations?
That's a very important question. It's not about theory. Now again, it boils down to awareness. We are making some awareness, and with this awareness, we can get into the practice to be able to sustain the development of that talent. The practice. I mean, it's like someone tells you have to wake up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, to pray for Mangarati. You are on pilgrimage in Vrindavan, you have to wake up for Mangarati. Then you get the greatest benefit. So you say, oh God, what to do? Yeah, just go to bed on time. So that is a practice that will develop that skill. But then, when you have the awareness, you also know the benefits. That gives you the motivation. The point is that the motivation for having this type of mindset and executing this type of will is that it will create sustainability in the relationship and it will deepen the loving relationship in the family. So, who wants a superficial relationship? No, I don't think anybody here wants a superficial relationship. Who wants a short-lived relationship? I don't think anybody wants that. We all want a deep, loving, sustainable relationship. And so that is the motivation here. So for us to develop that mindset, and we just have to even practice with the person who is closest to us. They do something silly. Say you have a child. The child does something silly. The first challenge is on you, not on the child. What's that challenge? You have to demonstrate that you love your child. You have to first control your temper. When you control your temper, you pass the exam. When you have calmed down, later you sit the child down and say, look, you did this the other day or some time ago. This is not good for the family. Maybe you have a reason for doing that. Maybe you could share the reason. That alone will set that person on a different polarity of soberness. Because they will think, if it's a child, they will say, I merited this span for this. But here, my mom or my dad just says, hey boy, it's what you did. Good for you. but it's not good for the family. So maybe you have a reason to do that. Share your reason, but it will help us to grow perhaps. But otherwise, we just have to abolish that, okay? You're not saying it with anger. I see. One of the qualities that I found in my late spiritual master, Bhakti Vasudeva Swami, was that you may do the gravest mistake and he might not even be happy with you. He talks with you and smiling. So you just open up your heart. Even that alone gives you strength that, yes, I'm a nonsense, but he loves me. Here is somebody who loves me. So you feel comfortable. Sharing your inattentions, your mistakes, and then you get input from that person that enables you to grow to the next level. So it's all about awareness, developing the mindset, sustaining that, and being able to, spread that or radiate that energy in the family, or radiate that energy in the community. So, it's something that, even in the workplace, we have someone who has a good professional talent. You struggle if you're an intelligent leader, you struggle so hard to retain that person. Because if you miss out and he or she goes away from your organization, from your company, to get a new person is more expensive than trying to retain somebody who is there. So, in a similar way, when we have an awareness of what is important for us to be able to sustain the relationship, and we develop that mindset, and we practice what is required, because what Krishna mentioned specifically, practice and detachment. Arjuna asked, you told me to do this, do that, control the mind. Look, mind. It's like telling me to control the wind. How is it possible? So we can also say, well, this is a very difficult stuff, man. Pro-action is always very difficult, but it yields high dividends, high results. And so first awareness, then a mindset, develop mindset, practice that, sustain it, and radiate that energy amongst people who are around you. That is how to be able to retain that type of skill or that talent or that value. Okay? Because something you practice, it becomes like part of your life. And it becomes easy. A lot of people see practice, it's not just a philosophy or a concept or a construct. It is something, they say what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Someone else is doing it. That is the radiation you send. You say that. Someone else is doing it, the other person gets affected. And it's a positive effect. Does it help? Alright, so we like to stop here. Thank you again very much for participating in this Krishna conference. So, Bhakti
Bhakti Vasudeva Maharaj ki Jai.